I'm Mario Carey, Better Homes and Gardens, Real Estate. We have bought you hotels in historical downtown Nassau. I've bought you penthouses on top of the world. I've bought you modern beachfront houses in Ocean Club Estates. I've bought you historical properties on the harbor. Today we're going to talk about Gunpoint, where it is ideally located. Gunpoint has 80 acres of land, miles of beaches, and it is the gateway to the world famous Harbor Island and the pink sands. I'm Mario Carey. Welcome to Island Dreams. Welcome to another episode of Island Dreams. So today we're located on Gunpoint, which is on the northern tip of the island of Eleuthera. Only accessible by plane or by boat. I've got 80 acres of property to tell you about today, and man, I don't know. Hi, who's that? Tim, yeah, man. Tim, come on, man, you got to help me today. Where you come from, man?
It's you, man.
All right. So Tim, today you're gonna help me.
Yeah.
We got a lot to do today, man. And you know me, I want to be able to lay on the beach with my cigar. So I'm gonna let you do the heavy lifting today. But we're gonna talk a little bit about the island, and I'm gonna give you a little bit of wisdom.
Okay.
All right.
Good.
All right. So let's get it done.
Let's go.
You know, my first thought when I was sitting here earlier today, there's got to be a God, you know? There's nothing that can be so beautiful and amazing as this spot, right?
Definitely, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, so I think anybody who looks to probably buy in this property and maybe want to think about development,
Yeah.
the very first thing I would want to point out to you is what is the range of the salt air and the intrusion, because you have this energy as these waves hit the cove. You can see how the wall rolls up. So in a hurricane, what you got to be aware of, where is the range of the spray? And if we just look at the top of the trees, you can see the discoloration.
Yeah, so this is a perfect place to put a residential development, a resort. At these elevations, you can see endless views of ocean for miles. And this is a very popular way to pass from Harbor Island over to Spanish Wells. It's just a perfect way to see how many boats pass through here.
I agree. I mean, since we've been here, we've seen the mega yachts. And this area, as you know, Tim, is called Devil's Backbone. In order to come through Devil's Backbone, you have to be an experienced captain.
Exactly.
What I'm told is like after 5 o'clock in the day, people do not dare adventure out into the Devil's Backbone because many boats have been lost here, right? So this is the gateway, and I mean, look at us, we're seeing cruise ships pass us now, right?
I think that's one of the biggest keys as well, is that large cruise ships can pass through here, mega yachts, small boats. It's a great channel for any boat of any size to be able to access the property.
I agree. So what happens is, when I stepped on this island today, the first thing I noticed, I said, this is a gateway. This property has to be called a gateway because everybody that's traveling from Harbor Island to or fro to get to Nassau or to Florida has got to pass here.
Yeah.
So just think about that from an investment point of view, from a developer's point of view, what you can do in capturing that audience as they come through the gateway.
Exactly, for sure.
Right, so we want to make sure we mention that.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good.
It'd be nice to live on one of those boats and pass by, huh, Mario?
Hey, Tim, when we sell this, we're going to charter one of those.
I'm going to buy one of those.
Oh! Youth, man, I don't know what to do with you.
So what I think is so perfect about this property, again, we talk about its location and proximity to Harbor Island. I think it's a lifestyle thing that people want to kind of maybe be a little bit secluded from Harbor Island, as well as you could probably, if you develop this, you could get a little bit of a better price point here.
I agree. I think, you know, the prices at Harbor Island, what we know our data shows is that it's some of the most expensive real estate in the Bahamas.
Exactly.
Right? So what's been happening is, because of Harbor Island's prices, Spanish Wells, which is the settlement directly behind us, settled in the 1600s, their real estate market has started to boom.
Exactly.
Because their prices are attractive, right? Because people can be in Spanish Wells and spend the day in Harbor Island.
Exactly.
So now you're saying that This property can sort of be in between.
Exactly. So you kind of get a middle ground, right?
Right.
If you don't want to be in the Spanish Wells, maybe your price point is a little bit out of reach at Harbor Island, I think that this is a perfect location where you're going to get in between both.
Tim, I haven't seen many places like this in the Bahamas, and I've traveled far and everywhere, right? I like coming out of the bush. I'm a bushman. That's what it is when you grow up on the island, man. You know, when we were kids, we'd go out crabbing. We would come up here at night. We'd have a Coca-Cola bottle full of kerosene oil with a piece of cloth in it, and that was our light, right? So we would come and hunt for land crabs. Land crabs are a delicacy. You make rice soup. So we'd come all up in these bushes hunting for crabs at night with a Coca-Cola bottle and kerosene. Crazy. So Tim, as we walk off of the ridge by the cove, what I notice is when we come into this area here, it's just nothing but palms, coconut palms. Tell me a little bit about that.
So actually on island, there's over 3,000 coconut palms.
Right.
So the owner loved coconut palms. He planted them here, and that's a lot of value there, that a lot of people have to import coconut palms.
Oh yeah, I would think that each one of these trees are gonna probably start at about $1,500 to $2,000.
Exactly.
Easily, right?
Yeah.
But what I get the feel and the vibe right here is I can just imagine this being like a hammock oasis.
For sure.
You know, you got hammocks laid up in these palms, and you just listen into the ocean. I think in the last episode I talked about, I went shh, 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 listen to that noise pollution, and all you hear are the waves.
On top of that, you could get some real good coconut water and sweet milk. Sky juice.
Sky juice, but that requires a little bit of gin. Gin is make you sin, Tim. Be
Yeah.
careful with that stuff. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the water system here?
Gotcha. So what's great about this property, and that's not something that's common with the out islands, is sometimes you don't have access to basic utilities. Here you have access to electricity and water. However, the owners have built a 210,000 gallon water catchment system, which you can see here with the pipes that are perfect for watering these palm trees, as well as all the other shrubbery on the island, the
That's
landscaping.
a lot of water.
Yeah.
So that's just a backup water system.
Exactly.
Because the island has water, but that is a backup system. Like I have a 30,000 gallon rainwater system at my house, and I built that in the event of a hurricane. I can have water for months. Over 200,000 gallons of water. That's a lot of water.
That's a ton of water.
That's a ton of water.
That's a ton of water you could share.
And that's clean.
Clean
water.
rainwater.
Clean water. If you want clean water, come to the Bahamas. Come to Gunpoint, Adiluthra. So, you know, Tim, we just landed here on our plane today, and I haven't been here before. So I hear that there is a real nice, beautiful coastline, a beach. So why don't we get in the buggy and you take us over there?
Sure, no problem.
Okay, so let's go visit the beach. And you know, I collect driftwood, so I'm looking forward to maybe trying to find some driftwood. All right, I got a shotgun. All right, Brandon, I'm doing your job. Come on, go ahead, turn around. Yeah, rewaist back. You know, we go. This thing weighs a lot, man. Check it out. Showtime. This is where I came looking for you all earlier. You see, I ain't checking for you all. I can try to teach you all how this is go. Whenever you go up on the rocks, on the beach, you want to make it more easier to walk and navigate, just grab a stick. And it's fun, right? Who knows where this stick came from? But it's cool. You got to climb over all these rocks. You got balance. Now, I'm not saying I'm Moses, but here we go. Yeah, one thing about a place like this that is owned by one family is you walk on this beach, there's not a footprint on this beach. You go around this property, 80 acres, there's a lot of stuff to explore and learn and find. You know, you can kind of come up here and people would find whale vomit that is very expensive. And people sell that to make perfume. It's very popular. I can't remember the name of it. But you get driftwood, you get pieces of boats, you get whale vomits, you get shells. You know, shells with pearls. But you know, if anything, it's just the fun of it.
How do you think the shoot's going?
I think it's going good. Wait. Where's Mario?
I haven't seen him. Where is he? Mario, what you was doing in there?
Hey, you know I'm a bushman.
You got a lot more
rope, found me some driftwood. Well, what's that? I didn't find no gold, though. I thought I might have seen some gold.
Well, I got a lot more to show you, Mario.
Oh, man, I'm having too much fun. Come on, then. I know
All
you
right.
got work to do. Let's go. Again, when you're living on an island, water is critical. Water is critical anywhere. So they've thought of ways of being able to filter the water, RO it, reverse osmosis, purify it, and then they store it here. And because of the purity, no tadpoles can grow in it. They're not interested in being in this type of water. So, and then obviously you have filtering systems. But this water, no plastics. This is pure, clean water. Hard to find today. It's amazing. And they built it using the limestone. You see that? In the limestone. The limestone is self-filtering. So that helps purify the water. And they've allowed this casement to be built into the limestone. So it holds the water. And it's big enough. This is probably like an Olympic-sized pool right here. 210,000 gallons of water. That can run a lot of cities. I thought it was 300,000 gallons altogether.
You're 4 times down by the house.
Right. I think they have 300,000 gallons of water capacity.
Okay.
So if you're looking to build a resort, you have no issues with water.
Okay.
So if you're looking to build a resort, you have no issues with water. And again, the way they engineered it, they took advantage of the hill. So it's a natural flow. The rain hits up there. It runs down naturally into this catchment. You've got pumping systems, filtering systems. So everything is filtered and then it's stored. That's it. We got it, baby. We got it. Doing a good job, Tim. You're doing a good job. All right, here we go.
So Mario, this is the main house. This is where the owners usually hang out. To give you a little bit of history of this, Lord Beaverbrook was the original owner of this property, right? And this property was gifted to him from the Crown. Because of his service in World War II, he was given a gift as a piece of land in the Bahamas, and he chose this property in particular, Gunpoint.
So he had places where he could choose to go, and this was his choice.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He made a good choice.
Right. So, again, I haven't been in here, so the first thing you see is a picture of Winston Churchill, and you see a 12-foot bull shark.
Yeah.
Well, I've been fortunate enough to be in water with sharks like that have survived. Yeah, I can believe it. I mean, I've encountered bull sharks, and they make you kind of check in. You need to be a very experienced diver when bull sharks like that enter the water. We've got a lot of stories about that. But let's talk about these pictures here.
Yeah.
I think we want to. So this is the photo with Churchill and Lord Beaverbrook.
Yeah.
And so this was the original owner, right? And so the Sandses are the second owners.
Yeah.
So this property has really only been held by 2 families. This is a generation iconic property.
Exactly.
Right. And that in itself is history. This property has not changed hands often. So the next owner will be somebody very special that will respect the culture, respect the history, and understand what this property is all about.
Exactly.
All right, Tim, come show me some more.
Yeah, so this property, as you can see, has been renovated, but this is an existing structure, and this is built out of Abaco pine. Yellow pine.
Do they even have any of that anymore? The tree, you can still get it, but it's sparse, right?
Yeah.
But that's what they built the house out, the boats out of. And it is the termites can't touch it. It's weather resistant. In most hurricanes, the houses that are built out of this type of pine are the ones that stay standing. Right.
So Mario, I would say that this next room that we're about to enter is probably my favorite room in the house. Just because of the views and the traffic of boats that you're able to look past. And just the views, I mean, it's just endless views of ocean going out the window. So let's take a look. This is the formal living room.
Yeah, so it looks like you're sort of stepping up. And I can hear the ocean. I can see the ocean, so it looks like it's built right on the ocean.
So you can't get any closer to the water than that. You just open up these windows, you get a real fresh ocean breeze coming in. Look at the views.
Yeah, I can imagine the conversations at the dining room table, right?
Exactly.
And what I was noticing earlier was the yachts, literally because of the devil backbone, they have the cut at a certain angle. And there's a sunken wreck right there. And so they have the cut, and they have to come inside that wreck and literally come right here. I mean, you can literally see the people on the boat as they come in.
Yeah.
And again, it's the gateway. So they have to come into a channel, and they're coming into the channel that carries you by Gunpoint, and it takes you into Spanish Wells, and from Spanish Wells you can go to Nassau, back to Florida. It's the gateway.
So what I would kind of consider this is a trophy property. Like you said, it's a ton of boats passing. Everyone sees this. And I think it's just kind of like the gem and the trophy of the area in terms of it being having so much exposure and people really admiring it as they pass by.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you got the Stanley Keys and the Exumas, and where you have a lot of interaction, a lot of boating. And again, this has been privately owned, right?
Exactly.
So if you make this something where you can attract people and it's not private, it can become a very thriving location. Different businesses, yacht clubs, restaurants, entertainment, housing, lounging, fishing. The location is everything.
Yeah, definitely. So Mario, I want you to admire the natural wood in this house.
Yeah, well, again, I know the floors are all wood, and I'm walking barefoot.
So you can feel it.
Yeah, man, you got sand in your toes.
So if you admire all of this history along the walls, I mean, this is just so much history in this property. I know is very beloved and dear to the owners' hearts, and it's just going to be something that the new owners are going to really admire and value.
Wow, I mean, if this stuff is included here, because these are pictures of old Nassau, sponging industry, the old churches, and you got so much history here. This is the old public library that once was a slave. The library, if you go there now, there are drawings when Blackbeard were there, and they kept guys in the dungeon, and they did drawings. It's historical, right? And that's a picture of the building. Looks like before it was restored.
So I want to show you the master bedroom. This is some of the best views in the house.
Okay, let's do it.
So I know we were on that incredible beach earlier, but look at that one.
I know, you just drawn to the beach.
What's also as nice as the wrap-around patios, so you could get 360 views all around of these wonderful beaches.
Right, and you know, that's how they did it. They built them in the old days, right? So you can depend on the wind and the sun. So if it's windy on this side, you can be on that side. When the sun comes up, you can be out of the sun or in the sun, either way. And they've used this part of the island because it's elevated. And all you feel, you can see the curtains moving, there's a nice cool breeze coming through here.
You don't even need AC.
No air conditioning. No.
Just a natural, fresh ocean breeze. You could smell it in the air.
Oh yeah.
So Mario, from here, I just want to show you that that's the views of that massive dock I was telling you about. The tennis court.
Tim, hold on. Man, look here. We've been at this all day today, right? And I know there's a lot more you want to show. But for the sake of time, an episode that I did last time, I snapped a finger and something happened. This montage thing. Why don't you give it a try?
You sure that'll work?
Try it. Let's see. Tim, hey, how did we get here? How did we get here?
I think the montage brought us here.
That montage is something else, man.
Man, that's powerful. But I'm glad we landed here.
Yeah.
I love this dock. Nothing is more important than having boat space, dockage space. And like I said, this is a deep water, very deep, large boats can get through here, super yachts. And I think that this is plenty of dock space here to get a lot of boats in there.
No, I agree. I mean, you can just see how the water drops off. You've got a kind of a natural ledge here. The tide is running through, and this is the main channel. This is the gateway channel right here. If there were boats coming here, we could almost touch them, so they could almost offer us a drink.
Exactly.
But yeah, so what else is going on? I'm looking at, I know we've been on so many beaches today.
That's important. I mean, you have just a wide range of choices in terms of beaches, beautiful beaches as that. And I think that this is probably my favorite beach on the island.
Well, one thing that catches my eye is when I look at the sand, it has pink in it. I mean, come on, man, this is the Bahamas. It doesn't get any better than this. Where else can you go in the world and on your private dock, there's pink sand?
Nowhere else.
Nowhere else. And that's not a mirage, that's real. We got a lot of AMs going around. But what I really do, Tim, you know, with a little bit of wisdom and kind of looking at this property, this coastline, which is the protected side, so we're on the lee. The lee is away from the wind, and that's normally facing south. I could just imagine, if you look at the dock, and you know, we're kind of facing the camera because the wind's behind us, but if you look at the gazebo there, let's just imagine that's a villa, right? So we see a lot of these new designs coming out where people can build on the water. And we can just pod these designs up and down this coast. And I mean, as far as your eye can see with those boats down there, that's kind of where the property ends. Just imagine how many villas you can have in the water on the lee of the island, taking advantage of all of this natural beauty with pink sands. You imagine you build something that has glass at the bottom, right? You wake up, you look underneath and there's fish and everything, and that's kind of what you're living in. And that's kind of the vision I see for anybody that wanted to create something that is unique. When people travel, where they live these days, they always look for a unique experience. And that's kind of what I see.
And why I think that'd be perfect when you're talking about glass bottoms and maybe structures that are going into the water. You get such beautiful creatures coming through this channel. You got manatees, you know, you have dolphins, you have a range of
Stingrays,
fish,
turtles.
Turtles.
I know that there is a manatee that frequents here. They really talk a lot about it. And what the manatees like is to drink the fresh water. So they stick a hose right here, and the manatee comes up to the dock, and you can literally get overboard, play with the manatee, and give it water, and just kind of pat its stomach, right? So, I mean, this is the Bahamas, right? This is what we're talking about.
How much somebody would pay to have that kind of experience, and that is what an owner here would experience on a daily occasion.
Right, right. So when we came to the property, the very first place that I came to was to the dock, because you're right in the water. See here, you want a cold beer? You can just hand your hand out and that guy will bring you one.
What's up, guys?
So, yeah. Tim, again, this is really good, man. This is a beautiful spot, and we got more to see. So why don't we try one more of those finger snapping things?
A montage?
Yeah.
Let's try it out.
All right.
Mario, what happened to the montage?
You know what I'm told? I think we could only afford one per episode.
No, man, Mario. We can afford more than one.
All right, we're going to talk about that. Tim, you know, as your broker, as a seasoned broker, tell me again, let's recap, and best you can, as quickly as you can, why is this place a good buy?
Yeah. And Mario, I know we went over a lot of stuff. It was a lot to take in, but some of the most important points I want to kind of share with you as well as our audience is that, one, this location is just incredible.
Location.
Yeah. Like I said, it's a hop, skip, and a jump from Harbor Island.
Right.
You got Spanish Wells across the way.
Right.
A boater's paradise.
Yeah, we spoke about the gateway, right?
Yeah, it's a gateway.
Right.
Also, I think it has huge potential for development.
For development.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's a property that a resort can come in here and really make a great return. Also on a residential development, huge returns. And I think we've priced it right.
We've priced it right, but I'd like the development, 80 acres of prime property.
Yeah.
A lot of water frontage. All the infrastructure is there. It has its own water. It's 5 minutes from a international airport.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So all those things help with the development, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, right. And then let's talk about the price.
Yeah. So at 23 million,
Right.
I think we've priced it right on point. I think that is very affordable for somebody who's going to come in here and make an investment and develop it, because the returns are just going to be huge, massive.
I agree. I mean, 23 million, if you tried to price anything in Nassau like this, 100 million, easily.
Yeah.
It does not exist on Harbor Island. Nobody has 80 acres of property. Nobody has 80 acres of property in Spanish Wells. So for 23 million, you're getting something that the location is ideal. And you know, another thing we didn't talk about is the ferry service, which plays a critical part to the development of the islands. The fact that you can get on a ferry and go to work in Nassau and come back here in the day, right?
Exactly.
So I mean, that thing really helps as well. Well, Tim, I think you did a really good job. I think people now know about Gunpoint. I think You know, Gunpoint again will get the attention. I think we're going to get a lot of interest. I feel real good about it. And I feel very good, and congratulations on getting the listing. I know you worked very hard at it, and as your broker, very proud.
Thank you.
So I think we got our work cut out for us, though. And the good thing about a property like this is it's going to sell itself.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, Tim.
All right, thanks for coming, Mario.
Don't snap your finger. Tim, you forgot the most important part, man. We got to close out the show.
What show?
Look over there. You think that fella been following us all day?
That's what them guys is doing?
That's what they're doing, baby.
Wow.
Let's close the show.
All right, guys, so thanks for joining us on this episode. Please remember to like and subscribe on those buttons below. My information, if you want to tour this property, is going to be right down here. My email is listed here, my phone number. Mario, this property is a dream. And I'm a dream.
See you next week.
See you guys.